Daggerheart just leveled up. An RPG about a dungeon crawler with a talking cat just made $5 million overnight, and somehow Daredevil is good again. But nobody's watching. All this and more on this episode of The Rift. Hey travelers, welcome back to The Rift, your weekly dive into gaming, sci-fi, and everything happening in nerd culture. I'm Pete. We are finally back from our hiatus after a few weeks off for my kids' spring break, and apparently the entire nerd industry decided just to drop everything while we were gone. So today we're covering a period of April 9th through April 29th, 2026, and there is so much happening right now. Tabletop is just exploding, streaming is shifting, and the lines between games, shows, and communities are getting thinner by the week. So let's get into it. And today, let's start with what I feel is the biggest story. Daggerheart isn't just surviving its first year, it is scaling. On April 21st, Darrington Press released all 9 Daggerheart Class Packs, each one a complete modular deck that lets you play a class from level 1 to level 10 right out of the box. Now, this is part of their big anniversary push leading into the game's 1-year mark, and they've already announced their first expansion pack, Hope and Fear, which we just got the release date, August 25th. I'm really excited, and I've pre-ordered. Now, here's what gets interesting, is that you can already download the Daggerheart system reference document for free, which means the rules are there, they're accessible. The class packs, those are optional, they're modular, they're gravy. So instead of forcing you to buy a giant core rulebook, players can pick and choose exactly where they spend their money based on their character, their table, or how they play. So yeah, this is basically like the tabletop version of an ethical DLC of sorts. And this is a big shift. Traditionally, tabletop has been, here's a 400-page book, good luck. Darrington Press is saying, here's what you need, nothing more, nothing less. And according to the broader April tabletop reporting, this lines up with a much bigger trend. Crowdfunding is exploding. Modular systems are gaining traction, and publishers are building ecosystems instead of just one-off games. And this isn't just for new RPGs, this is just a new business model. And speaking of Daggerheart, group action role Oathfyre also just launched on April 21st. This is our Daggerheart actual play series here on the channel, and this is where everything that we just talked about actually gets tested. Because it's one thing to say a system is narrative forward, it's another thing entirely to watch 10 players immediately derail it. And statistically speaking, we're going into our 3rd session, so this is where the players start to make truly bad decisions. So if you want to see how Daggerheart actual plays actually go, this might be for you. All right. Our next story, Dungeon Crawler Carl is an absolute monster. The official tabletop RPG launched its campaign and pulled in nearly $5 million in its first 24 hours. And this is not just success, that's like top tier industry performance. And if you're not familiar, this is a lit RPG about a guy trapped in a dungeon with a talking, extremely judgmental cat named Princess Donut, which is already a better premise than half of the AAA games we've seen this year. But seriously, this proves something important. Fans will absolutely show up if the tone is unique, if the world is interesting, and if the product actually delivers. Now, let's talk about something else weird. Daredevil, Born Again, because critically, it's doing great. We're talking about a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm really enjoying the season so far, but according to reporting, it pulled in about 7.5 million viewers in its first 5 days, and then dropped off significantly after that. Which is strange because, like, Marvel is starting to make good series again, and people are like, yeah, I'll get to it. This is not failure, this is signal. Quality alone doesn't guarantee attention anymore. But that's not all that Disney Plus has to offer us, because over on the Star Wars side of the house, Maul Shadow Lord premiered, and early reactions are strong. It seems that Star Wars once again is doing its best work in character-driven animated storytelling, which at this point, if you want consistently good Star Wars, you just follow the animated shows and, you know, the morally questionable characters. All right, it's time for our lightning round, so here goes. According to Variety, Sony has announced an R-rated Bloodborne animated film, which means we're finally getting a version of that world that hopefully understands the assignment. Ooh, and the Street Fighter movie trailer dropped on April 16th with a theatrical release set for October. And I know what you're thinking, if Ryu doesn't say Hadouken at least once, we riot. Don't worry, he does. According to Wizards of the Coast, Secrets of Strixhaven launched on Magic the Gathering Arena on April 21st, bringing a new meta into competitive play. Also, according to Tabletop Reporting, Ubisoft is bringing The Division to tabletop RPG form with a Kickstarter that just launched on April 28th. So yeah, we take a few weeks off and tabletop just explodes, streaming shifts, and the industry quietly starts changing underneath everything. And honestly, those quiet shifts are usually the ones that matter most. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Rift. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. We've got more episodes of The Rift and Tabling the Narrative and Group Action Roll coming your way very soon. Until then, I'm Pete. Stay curious, stay connected, and I'll see you next week.